Governor, let's just start with the book. What's it about?
I'll tell you what it's not about. It's not a candidate's book. I mean, it's not a autobiographical. It's not, I hope it's not a turgid recitation of our debt problems or it's not a manifesto. It's really about what's been bothering me for a long time, that something even larger than our standard of living is on trial right now, and that's our capacity for self-governance. And a lot of the people who you hear these days, on left and the right, basically are telling the American people you can't cut it. You're either not competent to run your own life, you're certainly can't be trusted with the realities of the situation we're in, or the immensity of the change we're going to have to make if we don't want to follow Greece and other countries down the drain. So the title, of course, refers back to Ben Franklin's famous comment that we've created a republic if you can keep it. His way of saying, even at the dawn of freedom in this country, that it's fragile, and that there are tendencies that could lead a government of and by the people to go wrong.
You talk about trusting the American people. How is it that politicians aren't trusting them?
Yeah. On the one hand, including or really embodied in the administration in power now, there's the long-standing school of thought that basically says that life's just too complicated for these poor, benighted Americans. They'll make mistakes if we don't protect them. They're victims in a sea of predators. So we'll help them. We'll decide for them what kind of health care they should have, and where their kids should go to school, and what kind of credit card or mortgage they should be permitted to take out, and by the way, what kind of light bulbs they can have. And I give credit for the sincerity, the good intentions of these folks, call them our benevolent betters. But I think their prescription is a disaster, both in terms of a society that will work well and keep advancing, and in terms of its implications for human dignity. Now, meanwhile, on the other side of the tracks, where I spend most of my time, there are also some people who I think are giving up on the American people too readily, and then worry and talk all the time about how dependent they are on government, and how few of them are paying taxes anymore, and how cultural norms are eroding. Now, these things, there's elements of truth in all that, but you either believe the American people have the capacity to run their own lives and their government, or you don't.
You write about truth. You talk about the candidates having to get a little bit bolder in terms of the truth they tell. That seemed to be a moment when nobody wanted to risk saying anything that wasn't very, very safe in a Republican primary. Do you read it that way?
I don't want to. In this job I'm in now, people are always reading your mind, when they don't have a clue what you're really thinking, and I don't want to start doing that to other people. But I would just say it's an early stage of the race. That question or some version of it may come back again. And I think a lot of them were thinking even at that time and have thought more since that, again, if you don't accept the premise of this book, that our economy, the whole dream of upward mobility, and even our capacity for self-governance on trial, if you don't accept that it's that serious, then you wouldn't accept what follows. But if you do start from that premise, I think it leads you inevitably to say, at the end of the day, I'm a patriot, and I'm going to put this country first. I'm not going to, I said in a speech somewhere, I for one have no interest in standing in the wreckage of our republic saying I told you so, or you should have done it my way.